Hey everybody, Pastor Matt here. I'm so glad that I can jump on here and talk to you about what these new COVID guidelines now mean for ARBC. I just want to get real quick with it. We got an email about a couple of days ago, and a bunch of us pastors got together on Zoom yesterday afternoon to be able to talk about some of the implications. Because as you can imagine, each church is dealing with their particular issue in a different way, and I completely understand that. We as pastors, we really don't want to copycat other people because we know our own people and our own demographics in such a way that we want to recognize we're pastoring our churches. We're not pastoring everybody's churches. And so every church is going to approach these things in a different way. And so part of the part of the email that we got back, let me pull it up here if you don't mind. Part of the email that we got back was a recognition now that 56% of the Tri County, which would be Douglas and Adams and Arapahoe, and even in Jeffco, that 56% of Tri County is now vaccinated. The death rate is virtually zero. And so now we're going to be seeing some pulling backs of businesses being able to go back to 100% capacity. The CDC yesterday said that if you've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear your masks. So you may notice that as you walk into the church, that these signs have been taken down as far as wearing masks everywhere. We're going to just approach it on a case by case basis. When I say that, it means that we're asking you to do your due diligence, as some of you already have. Now, some of you are already there doing my due diligence. I'm making my decisions. And some of you are there. I'm doing my due diligence, making my decisions, and you may have come to some different conclusions. But this is where we need to move forward well and move forward with a lot of charity. Because I know that even with these announcements, that some are still wanting to wear their masks and are not comfortable yet going through this. And so as a result, you may wear a mask, someone else that may decide not to because they've been vaccinated or for whatever reason. So as one pastor said yesterday at this meeting, we're your pastors, we're not the police. So we're just going to just ask you just to take all the precautions as you see. If you're sick, stay home. Just make sure that you're doing all of those sanitary and hygiene matters. But as we're getting to know more of this, you'll notice a couple of things. So on May 30th, we're going to wait a couple of weeks because it seems like every time they come out with a new thing, then in a couple of weeks they're having to walk some things back. So on May 30th, we're going to have our first service, or our first services, I should say, with no tape, because now the social distancing guidelines are not in place. All that was in place as far as Colorado is concerned was a mask mandate. But again, the CDC said if you've been vaccinated, you don't have to do that. And even the mask mandate that's here is only in effect until June the 2nd. So again, piece by piece, little by little. May the 30th, we will be having our first services no tape. So where you want. So it's going to be wonderful. And as we determine how people are ready to come back, we're still going to do two services for the time being. But if we're seeing over the course of time that there may be folks that are wanting to really gravitate back to one service or those things, I mean, we're really, you know what, we're really going to just begin to work now toward having that one service. And Lord willing, maybe by Father's Day or by the end of June, we're going to monitor it week to week and see if there's a way that we could do this. One of the reasons why it would be really good to be able to have the one service is for obvious reasons for our preschool ministry, because if we're going to start opening it up, then we're going to need childcare for these services plus the small groups. And the pool that we have of volunteers right now, because of COVID and because of various other things, along with about 40 to 50 people that have moved back east because of the market that's here in Denver, we're just right now at a time where the pool is a little short. So if we can have one service and one small group time where people can meet and do those things and have that one preschool time, it won't be as much of a burden on the preschool area. But the idea is always, and I believe, unless if God keeps growing us, and we're having about 130 that are coming now to our services, both services. So if God keeps growing us, then at least we already have a mechanism to know how we can do two services. So I believe that's God's kind mercy on that. So we have some things in place that are coming along. We're very, very grateful. I also want to commend to you, and I'm going to go ahead and put this up and then put it in the notes. Let me copy and paste it here. It's an article that's from the Atlantic. And what the Atlantic is, the Atlantic, for those of you that may read a lot of conservative news outlets, the Atlantic is not what you call conservative. In fact, they lean very much progressively, but they also will call out things that need to be called out. And in San Francisco, apparently there is this thing about we want to make sure that kids, if they're 2 years old and older, that they're going to end up wearing masks. They need to end up wearing masks. And he's saying, wait a minute, if the science is what it's saying that it needs to be, then that's going to be more detrimental. The masks are not going to help. The masks are actually going to be harmful to some of these things. Now, some of you have been sending me emails. I mean, a number of you have been sending me emails regarding the masks and the veracity of all of this and whether it's really, whether it's ever been needed or not. Listen, we were just going by the information that we knew. And we were going by what from some of these sources that we trusted, and we wanted to make sure, especially in interacting with the medical profession, we wanted to make sure that we were moving forward, and we were going to move forward more cautiously than renegade. So that's just the way that we're going to be. We want to make sure that we're doing all that we can to do our due diligence and being careful. But now we're at this point. But we got to be real careful too and pray about this, because India, I mean, those things have been spiking there. And even with my good friends in Trinidad and Tobago, they've been telling me that they're back on lockdown. So we just need to be aware that, yes, while things are opening up, this may not be in perpetuity. There may be something that comes along where we have to shut back down. The good thing about it is now we know what to do, and we can really move a little more fleet of foot if things end up taking a turn and we have to go back to where we were. Now we know how to do it, and we've already got our sea legs about us with that. Let me know if you have any other questions, because I want to make sure I'm answering questions you're actually asking. But I wanted to just jump on here, get this video recorded in all of its flawed glory. I wanted to get the video recorded. And again, just to remind you, new service times, 8:30 for the first service, 11 o'clock for the second service, 9:45 in the middle. And plus, we have a 101 class for people that are interested in learning more about our church, that aren't members yet. They're interested in learning more about it. Please let us know by noon whether you want to attend, so that we can make sure we have lunch and materials provided for you. All right? God bless you all. It's going to be a great day on Sunday. Can't wait to see you all. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.